What is up, everybody? Welcome to another fresh take, and this is going to be a spoiler-filled review slash uh Disney. What the hell is wrong with you? Um, cast with Mr. T. How you doing, man?
Hey there, Bruce. What's going on?
All right, so Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, the end of this new trilogy of Star Wars films, came out on December 20th, and I did my initial review, and my initial review honestly was I didn't love it, I didn't hate it. There were obvious issues with the movie, some of which were really bad, some of which were just okay. I mean, it was kind of all over the place, which is why I couldn't give. I gave two ratings when I did it on my blog, and the two ratings I gave it, if you were a Uber fan, well, I gave it a matinee. If you were just a casual fan, I gave it a rental, because to me there was no reason to go to the theater. If you got like a 60-inch plus 4K TV, there's no reason to go to the theater to see this. I'm just being honest. If you're not a super fan of the series, but I brought in T with me today because I wanted to talk about some of the issues that I had with the trilogy as a whole. And I think we were kind of on the same page. Because we kind of went in on Last Jedi, rightfully so. And I stand by what I said, because I wasn't attacking the franchise. I was attacking that film because the film was jacked up. So
Yep.
I think we're on the same. So what I'm gonna say, what I want to start off and say is, like, for me, overall, the trilogy, this new trilogy from Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and now The Rise, showed me a number of issues that ranged from writing and director's vision, and the fact that I honestly think they had no plan in place at all, period. They were just told, look, we bought it, put some movies out. That's what I feel like happened. And I can't believe I'm actually about to say this, but the prequel trilogy is better than this.
It's cohesively better, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I may not like some of the stuff they did in it, because God knows I hate Jar Jar Binks. God knows I hated that whole thing with with how they did Palpatine until Revenge of the Sith, and I could not stand Natalie Portman in those. I usually love Natalie Portman, but I could not stand Natalie Portman in that original trilogy, that prequel trilogy. But that is way better than this jumbled mess.
I thought she was good in Rise of Skywalker. Listen to me.
Yeah.
I thought she was good in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah. I think everybody was good in Revenge of the Sith, because they knew you could tell they were actually having fun.
Yeah.
Everybody was. You could tell that in that film. This one though, and I'm gonna start. First of all, I understand people want to get mad at Daisy Ridley, but Daisy Ridley did not write that character. Okay.
Yeah, you can't get mad at her.
Yeah. So I think she did as good a job as anybody could have asked.
I think she was great. I think she did great for what she was given to do.
So and John Boyega. But see, John Boyega, I like John Boyega, but you could tell they didn't have anything for him to do outside of that first film. And Rian Johnson did not.
Just frustrating, but
because I don't think Rian Johnson wanted him to have the Force, and J.J. Abrams did.
J.J. Abrams clearly wanted him to be Force sensitive.
Yeah. And Rian Johnson was like, fuck that. No, he ain't. So, I mean, it was one of those situations, and that's where I get mad at J.J. Abrams. If your thing was, okay, I'm just going to kick it off and I'm going to let y'all handle it.
Right.
Then you can't get mad, bro.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at Rian Johnson if he didn't think he was making his own standalone movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Which was a problem, because I don't know if Kathleen Kennedy told him he was making his own, but clearly he wasn't making his own. And
he thought he was, but
yeah, because I'm like, and that's another part of the problem with Rise of Skywalker. The problem with Rise of Skywalker is, and I know J.J. Abrams came out and said he wasn't trying to throw shade at Rian Johnson. Watch that movie.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can,
it's in the dialogue, man.
It's there. I mean, it's there.
It's so bad. It's actually in the dialogue. So you can't say he wasn't throwing shade. He was throwing hella shade at Rian Johnson in Last Jedi, because that's clearly not what he wanted to happen. But once again, if that was the case, JJ, you should have did all three of them.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously he had some kind of scheduling conflict. He couldn't.
Yeah, but if
And
that was the
I mean,
case,
well, I don't think it was just that. I think I don't know. It's conflicting reports. Disney, you hear that Disney wanted to have these three directors with their three takes on it,
yeah,
but you also hear that they wanted J.J. Abrams to do them all, but he didn't want to.
yeah. Well,
So
that's because the report I read was J.J. Abrams only wanted to do the first one to kick it off and then let it go from there. But my thing is, okay, then, dude, if that's what your case, then you shouldn't have came back for the third one.
yeah, that should have been the plan from the beginning.
Yeah, like if you were going to go with three different directors' visions, because that's the other thing too. Every director has a different vision. Um,
And you needed a solid outline. Like he should have been a producer. That's the
yeah,
problem with JJ. JJ should have been a producer
yeah,
on all three of them,
basically, and he wasn't.
and he
He
wasn't.
clearly wasn't. You know, I
Because
mean,
that way Ryan Johnson couldn't get away with doing what the hell he wanted to do. He would have had to follow a outline or something.
yeah, he would have to follow something, and I think so that's my overall thoughts. Because the reason why I brought up though Force Awakens and Last Jedi is because the issues that mainly stem, in my opinion, for Rise of Skywalker is the fact that one, they're trying to act like Last Jedi didn't exist,
Yeah.
and two, they're trying to go from where Force Awakens ended. But the problem is, you go from where Force Awakens ended, and
Last
now
Jedi mucked up too much stuff. You can't just jump from Force
yeah,
Awakens to it.
you really can't. Now,
The biggest problem with this movie is that it's not two movies. That's
yeah, and it should be. Clearly, it should
it
be.
needs to be. I said it. I've said it before. I said they needed to make this Rise of Skywalker Part One and Rise of Skywalker Part Two. That's what they should have done.
Yeah,
Screw,
because
screw this whole trilogy thing. That George did that, but that didn't have to be the way you do it. You know.
yeah, and that's another thing too. I think is another main issue. If you don't have three movies, or you have four movies, or you have five movies to get your story done, then you have 4 or 5 movies to get your story done. You don't have to do a trilogy because the
Right.
original guy had trilogies.
And you could have shot both of these movies at the same time. That's been done before. The Matrix.
The Matrix,
You know,
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. That's they just shot all three of those damn movies.
Yeah,
So you could have shot both of the movies and cut them in half. That's what they should have done.
hell, Kill Bill did that.
Right. Kill Bill did it. Right.
So, uh, and that leads into one of my major gripes, and one of my other major gripes is with the Star Wars fan base. Okay, and I'm probably not gonna get any love for saying this, but y'all need to make up y'all mind what y'all want.
Damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Yeah, and the second thing too is, just because you write fan fiction, you shouldn't try to force your fan fiction down the studio's throats to try to make
Right.
them do what you want in your fan fiction. The
But
reason
the
why
thing
it's called
is,
fan fiction is because it's your fan fiction. It's not what they are, or that's not the story they're trying to tell. The story they're trying to tell is not your fan fiction.
and the thing is, like a lot of fan fiction ended up in this damn movie.
Yes, and here's because I'm probably gonna get some flack for this, because I was talking to a guy in the comic book shop I go to, and we were talking about, because as you know, John Boyega and Oscar Isaac have been on a roll the last week and a half.
Yeah.
They have been on a roll, but
Yeah.
we was talking at the comic book shop because we brought that up because Oscar Isaac said that he wanted to go deeper into the Finn Poe relationship and have a homosexual relationship. Here's the problem with that. Number one, at no point in time in Force Awakens did they ever set that up.
No, you can't do that
It was
now.
never set up.
Yeah.
So you can't just turn around and then turn it into something. Number two, once again on Force Awakens, how much screen time did Oscar Isaac and John Boyega have in Force Awakens? About 5 minutes?
5 minutes, maybe?
3 minutes at the beginning, and they don't see him until the very end.
Right.
When he finally meets up with the Resistance, and hey, I was in it. Here's your jacket back.
Right. That's not enough.
That's not no. The other thing, Last Jedi. How much time did Oscar Isaac and John Boyega spend together in that movie? 6 minutes, maybe. Okay, so explain to me, fan fiction people, how is that going to work?
Yeah, you can't make that. I mean, I don't care if that was a
Yeah, I
thing,
don't care,
but you
but
can't you
don't
can't
try
make
to
it
say
that.
this can happen. No, it can't, because going by the story they did.
That's just as disjointed as Rose Tico and him
Yeah,
having feelings for him like out of nowhere. Wait,
and
what?
and there goes to my second point, Rose Tico. I feel so bad for Kelly Marie Tran
Me too. They did her
because
so dirty. Like,
they these Star Wars fans, they jumped her on Twitter and Instagram,
and it's not her fault.
and it wasn't
Again,
even her fault. And two, so in Rise of Skywalker, she has 76 seconds of screen time.
uh,
76 seconds out of a 2.5 hour movie.
and then she has a lot more. They filmed a lot more with her, but
But they had to cut it
they had to cut it.
but for reasons that I won't get into, because I'm not even gonna cross that barrier with these people, because they all
But again,
really
if it was
will
two
crucify me.
movies, you would
Yeah,
have to cut it.
we would have to do it. Now here comes to my main point of contention with the fan fiction people. Kylo Ren and Rey and that freaking ending. That was never set up, dude.
Say again, I didn't hear you. Sorry.
Kylo Ren and Rey.
Oh yeah.
That ending, that was never set up. I'm sorry. That was never set up. She never met Ben Solo.
That's more fan fiction right there.
I went back and watched Last Jedi. She never met Ben Solo. So when did she fall in love with Ben Solo? Please explain that to me. What was she talking to Leia? Did it happen off screen and she was talking to Leia and Leia was telling her how good her son was? The dude tried to kill her.
Right. And killed her father figure. Like,
yeah. So
even though she only knew him for a few hours.
Yeah. But I mean that's the thing. Okay. And then we go back and the kiss just weird. The kiss was weird and off-putting. That kiss was just weird and off-putting.
Yeah.
That was just weird and off-putting. All right, so Hollywood loves to talk about abuse and
but it was because of Raylo. Everybody,
but you're gonna sit up, but in the same breath, all these movies, who always gets the best relationship? The abusive person.
Correct.
I don't want to hear another thing from Hollywood writers about that, because they keep doing it. Because that was an abuse. Even Daisy Ridley herself said that was an abusive relationship.
That's just it's just a bad idea to make that.
No shit. But my thing is, why can't any writer see that? You're in the writing room.
Come to my side. I'll murder all your friends, but we should be together.
Yeah. and correct me if I'm wrong. In Last Jedi, he wasn't even trying to get with her.
No.
And in this,
I guess you could interpret it that way, because that's again, that was another fan fiction piece of crap. Is like, oh, Raylo, no.
No. No. And like I said, the thing that killed it for me was, she was in love with Ben. She wanted to reach out to Ben. She never met Ben.
She don't know who Ben is.
She only met Kylo, and look, and this is the killer of all killers. Oh, but her and Kylo had a connection. So did her and Finn. Y'all don't want to bring that up.
Clearly.
And they showed it on 3 different occasions in Rise of Skywalker where Finn knew where she was and knew when she was in trouble. You know what I compare that to? Back in the comics, back in the X-Men comics, everybody always knew that Cyclops and Jean had a rapport, right?
Yeah.
But during the Executioner song, you found out Jean had a rapport with somebody else and she ain't never tell nobody. It was Wolverine.
Uh-huh.
That kind of reminds me of what they did. I'm like, so y'all just gonna pretend like okay. And for the life of me, they would try so hard to make Finn, Rey, and Poe a team, like Luke, Han, and Leia. The problem is Luke, Han, and Leia in that original trilogy, yes, Luke does go off and get trained, but they still spend the majority of those 3 films at some point together.
Right. They're in the trilogy.
It was about them.
That trilogy had the Trinity.
Yeah. So if you're trying to do that for Finn, Rey, and Poe, they were hardly the only 2 people that were together the majority of the film in the first film and the last film was Finn and Rey.
Finn and Rey.
Poe was never there. Poe was never there until Rise of Skywalker, and that just It
And
it it never
let
felt
me
like it
point something
worked.
out to you real quick, because I think a lot of people miss this. In the last Jedi, right at the end, when Rey comes and saves everybody, she does her rock thing.
Yep.
Um, Poe walks up to her and is like, "Hi, nice to meet you. My name's Poe." Like that was the first time he's seen her.
That was the first time they
No, no,
fucking
no. But it wasn't. And in Force
forced.
Awakens,
Oh, at the
he was
end.
standing right there next to
Yeah,
her.
at the end. Yeah, you're right. That is right. At the
When
end.
they were going over the plan and all that stuff, he
Yeah.
was there. She was standing right there. He never said, "Hey, hey, girl, you the one we're sending off on a mission to find Luke Skywalker. I'm gonna meet you later, I suppose, in the next
Yeah.
movie." Like we never seen each other. Like this is the stuff that I'm talking about when I say Ryan Johnson didn't watch the first movie.
Yeah.
Like he
Well,
did not
yeah.
watch.
Well, apparently he wasn't. They didn't care if he did or he didn't. So
It's like, well, nobody said anything. Like none of the actors were like, "Hey, well, I'm pretty sure we were in
that,
a, we were in shots right next to each other in the
well, my
first
thing
movie."
is, don't they do table reads?
You would think
Ain't this supposed to come up in a table read?
he's waving to her as she leaves to go meet Luke Skywalker off in the
Yeah.
Millennium Falcon. He never said a word to her.
I
Who's this
mean,
strange girl we're sending off who I don't know?
right after she put Finn in the friend zone.
Right. Like, what is this?
So yeah, I mean, if you were gonna do from a story perspective, if you were and here's another thing, another thing I can't believe I'm about to say, but Captain Marvel did it right. Every movie don't need a damn love interest.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, it don't. This trilogy didn't have one, and that was fine. It would have been fine if they didn't have one. You want to know what this movie is about? War.
It's called Star Wars.
Yeah, it's not about who's in what relationship with who. No, it's war. So we got to stop these space Nazis from taking over the galaxy. Essentially, so
Just
that would if you were gonna if you just had to have a relationship in there, guess who the relationship should have been with? I know y'all not gonna like me for saying this, but it's the truth because they had the most chemistry out of anybody on the freaking damn series, and that's Finn and Rey.
Finn and
They
Rey.
spent
I
they spent
mean,
the most time together, and they clearly had the most chemistry. There was more chemistry in that hug in the end of the Last Jedi between
right.
Rey and Finn than there was in the entirety of the damn movie. But for
And
some
then Chewie
reason,
came to pick her up or pick them up after he got sliced in the back. She's laying there crying over him.
and over him, because that was the first
She
friend she
wasn't
ever
crying for
made.
Kylo, who she had just cut up. She was crying
That
over
that she
over
had to
Finn.
heal. That she had to heal. By the
Yeah,
way, so I'm like, okay, dude, this makes no sense. Once again, either you do it if you're gonna have a love interest, you do it with the people that you already had that set up with, or you just don't have a love interest at all. And I don't think anybody would have got mad if there was no love interest in this because it didn't. To me, it wasn't about that because they were moving so fast. There was no time to set any of that up. Like
but
the
for me,
original.
it's like it's natural. If you have a guy and a girl together, they're not related, and they're going on these things, excursions together. Eventually, there's gonna be some kind of chemistry, like
Yeah,
that.
but theirs
So,
was
you
overflowing.
can just keep them friends. That's
Yeah,
fine.
but
But usually, that's what you expect. That's just a natural human behavior,
yeah, but
especially with people in extreme situations.
that's
So
the other thing too, though, is that they had it overflowing. It's just like Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher. Harrison Ford and
right.
Carrie Fisher had chemistry overflowing in that original trilogy,
Oh yeah.
so it made sense. Guess who had it in this one?
Well, they were kind of messing around behind the scenes
Yeah,
too.
but
So that might
nobody knew that. Nobody knew that till like 30
that might
years
have
later. But
something.
we ain't gonna say nothing.
Yeah, his wife certainly didn't know. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
she didn't know. But at the end of the day, though, Daisy Ridley and John Boyega, you can tell they are friends for real in real life. So much
right.
so to the fact that I feel bad for whoever their significant others is, because when they see each other, when they come back home, their significant other's going to get ignored.
Right.
That's how, because you can see it when they're on the red carpet. Like they ignore everybody. It's like it's just them two together. So that's why I'm like, dude, they have the chemistry that you want. If you're gonna do a love interest, it makes sense to do it with them. It doesn't make sense to do it with these fan fiction people who just want to see what they want to see. It doesn't make any sense because you never set it up, and two, it was never. you could never settle what those people wanted because it didn't happen in the story that they were telling. The
Yeah,
second thing,
that's what kills me about Hollywood. I just want to interject real quick. They talk all this diversity, all this nonsense, but they're
yo,
too afraid to have a black guy kiss a white
no,
girl in a
mhm,
movie. So
unless it's porn.
let's just right. Let's just kill that.
Like it doesn't make any sense. And the other thing too is you can't damn introduce new damn characters in your last in the last movie of a trilogy.
Uh, no, I'm gonna. Well, in Star Wars, you
Not
can do it.
not how they did it in here though. Not how they did
No,
it in here because
yeah,
that girl, the girl
Zora.
that yeah, Jaina, she should have been in Last Jedi
She had
because
too much information to just be thrown in that third movie like that.
thank you because that's what I'm saying. I'm like, dude, hold on, you can't introduce this new character and Dom Monaghan. You gonna have Dominic Monaghan essentially play a glorified cameo,
Yeah, well,
a
I think
glorified.
from what I hear, he won a bet between him and JJ. So I don't think
And
he
when
was.
that came out, they should have never let
Yeah,
that came out.
yeah, that made it look really bad.
Real bad. So I'm sitting here like, okay, why are you introducing brand new characters into this when you already are omitting characters that's already been established? That's what I'm saying.
I
Like,
don't have a problem with Dominic because this happens. You know, they had to rebuild the resistance or whatever.
yeah,
So there's gonna be new people. The problem is he didn't say nothing.
yeah.
He was just kind of
And,
hanging around in the background and kind of there.
and Carrie Russell, I love Carrie Russell so much, but
Love
I'm
her to
like,
death.
what was her point other than to say, hey, look, I have this past with Poe. Yeah, he a womanizer.
I
And
hope they're
scene.
planning a spinoff show with her because we got nothing from her.
Nothing. And that's Carrie
She looks
freaking
really
Russell.
cool.
That's Carrie freaking Russell, dude.
Carrie
Like, what
Russell, right?
that's like having Sam Jackson come in and be like, hey, BMF on my lightsaber.
But bro,
And walk
that's
out.
happened before. I don't know what it is about Carrie Russell, but you know, I don't. It's not in every movie. But another big movie I saw her in, and she died in the first 5 minutes, was Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible 3. Was it 3?
3.
Yeah, she was out of there. I'm like, what?
I'm like, what the hell? So yeah.
I don't think Carrie Russell that quick.
Yeah, so I don't. That's the thing. Like, look, I get it. It's Star Wars. It's supposed to be this cultural phenomenon, and these movies are supposed to be like movies for the ages. No, it ain't.
Yeah.
I mean, that one, that Rise of Skywalker does not feel like a movie for the ages.
You want me to tell you what I think? Roger Scott, they knew it was a mess. I'm pretty sure they knew it was a mess. They were just like, we got to make the budget. We got to make our money back, make a little money, and not completely destroy this whole thing. And that's how I think they approached it.
And you know what? That might be true because you see what Disney went and did, what Iger went and did. Like, look, Feige, look, I know you're working on bringing the X-Men and Doctor Doom and Fantastic Four to the MCU. I need you to just step over here, give them an outline, and make sure they follow it.
Right. Give them a solid, strong outline.
and then you can go back to doing your little comic book, funny book thing. But
Make
I need you to fix this.
Make sure Favreau directs one of these, if not more.
All of them.
If not all of them, right. And let's go. Because Kathleen Kennedy is playing around over here, man.
And if we need to, we'll pull Ryan Coogler off Black Panther.
Yeah, we'll pull Ryan. Yeah, we need to do that. I hope that happens.
Yeah.
Actually, Ryan Coogler to direct one of these.
Actually, I kind of want Ryan Coogler to do X-Men, but that's just me. But
yeah, I mean, he's probably better at X-Men, but
yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it. Yeah, I really wouldn't mind seeing it. But that's the thing. I wanted to love it, but I couldn't. Because I'm sitting here like, if I get mad at Zack Snyder movies for making these same mistakes, I can't let Star Wars off the hook.
Yeah, but even with like Zack Snyder, you still like it, even though there's major issues sometimes.
Yeah,
that's how I felt about. That's how I felt about Rise of Skywalker. There was a lot of it that I really liked, but there was like these major things that totally messed me. Because I think about an hour and 15 minutes, maybe about an hour and 15 minutes in, I was like, this is a really good movie. I'm really enjoying this. How can they mess this up?
And then you saw it.
Yeah, they started messing it up with these major weird plotline things. And I'm like, see, because Palpatine, him coming back, they put him in the opening crawl. I'm like, yo, you can't do that.
And on the subject of Palpatine, um,
Yeah,
and I had to ride for my boy George Lucas. George Lucas like, no, Palpatine is dead, and here's why Palpatine should, like, if they were gonna bring Palpatine back, it should have been it should have been cast differently, and it should have been a clone. It should have went the clone route
they should just make everybody, like even casual Star Wars fans, know who Darth Plagueis is. Like, why didn't they just bring Darth Plagueis in here?
Yeah,
like, we never seen him. We never seen him die, even though Palpatine totally killed him.
That would have made sense. But
that
my
would have made so much better sense.
Because my thing is, if you go and I made the mistake of watching Return of the Jedi before I went to watch Rise of Skywalker. That's another reason why I got mad, because there's whole scenes lifted out of Return of the Jedi that's actually in Rise of Skywalker. He just changed one or two things about it. It's straight up plagiarism. But the Emperor gets picked up, thrown down a fission reactor while a space station blows up. So unless his middle name is Emperor Palpatine Frieza from Dragon Ball Z, he shouldn't be able to survive that, because he blown up, he got radiated, and he was in the vastness of space. And you mean to tell me he survived and all he lost was 2 fingers?
This is what was so frustrating about this movie. And it was frustrating. It was mostly just frustrating. You can do that. You can bring Palpatine back. But not in the opening crawl. You can't.
No, you can't bring him back in the opening crawl.
A good 30, 35 minutes explaining how he survived this.
Because, and that's another thing,
they never explained to show it. Flashbacks. We need to see it.
They never explained it. That's why I was like, dude, there's no way you can survive. I don't care how much force he got. There's no way he can survive radiation, an explosion, and the vastness and coldness of space. He can't.
Yeah. And they should have just never brought him back, because it just destroys everything the original trilogy,
set up,
whatever they fought for. It just completely. How can Darth Vader be? Well, that was established in the prequels, which I never cared for. That he was a chosen one and all this stuff.
Yeah,
I think Lucas should have never done that stupidness. But they made him the one who bring balance to the Force and all this nonsense. That is never the case now. If Sidious never died.
Yeah, so, and on top of that, if you're gonna do it, the only thing that makes sense, honestly, is going by the expanded universe where he cloned himself.
Right.
That's the only thing that makes sense.
What I'm saying. You can, like I said, you could have saved him. You could have brought him back, but you needed a good 35 minutes to do it.
Yeah,
and that's why you needed 2 movies out of this, and not one squished together movie.
And I'm sorry, I know there was some reports about the pre-screening, the first screening, and people walked out of it, and they went back and did reshoots and changed the ending. I think that's true because of how that ending went.
I'm gonna tell you why I don't think that's true. The walking out part, people might not have liked it, but you don't walk out of a what do you call it? What kind of screening?
That was the initial, the initial. Well, I forgot what the initial screening what they called it.
You don't walk out of those. They don't let you walk out of those. So you have to watch the entire thing, because it's a security
breach. Yeah, security
right.
issue. So
and you certainly can't tell people about it, because you can get sued to your last
ass. So,
right.
But I didn't believe the telling people part. I believe the part where 10% of the people only liked it and 90 hated it.
Yeah, I can go with that.
Because the way that ending was, you saw where they like, oh, they just let Rey walk through this dude.
Yeah, I'm like,
you can tell they did that. You can tell they did that.
You can tell that there was other cuts where she was just like a god, basically.
Yeah. So I mean, like, okay, that's why I was like, dude.
But here's the thing about Rey. Like, if that was his plan all along, why was he about to let your boy kill her?
Yeah.
He was about to let
Snoke kill her. Snoke kill her, yeah. So
if his plan all along was to get her to come back there, see, that's what I'm saying. That's why this doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, because
you set up other stuff in other movies, and then you just kind of overlook it and make hope we forget. But I didn't forget none of that stuff.
Nah, I didn't. I can't forget, especially since y'all put it on Disney Plus. And you put it in my face.
I see it all the time now.
Yeah. So no, I can't forget it. It's right there.
It should have completely been like this. They should have did Rise of Skywalker Part 1 and Part 2. Part 2 come out in March,
March.
something like that.
Yeah, because you don't want to cannibalize yourself because Black Widow comes out in May.
Right. So puts late February, certainly early March, no later than that. And that would have been, you'd have been okay.
Yeah.
People would have rolled. You would have had two really good movies to where you could explore a lot of this stuff better. And if I was J.J. Abrams, I would have been fighting for that.
Yeah.
There's no rule. It's not the rule of two or rule of three. There's no rule that it had to be, trilogy.
Yeah. There is none. And
technically, it's like Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame. That's one story. But they cut it in half.
Basically, they had to.
Yeah, they had to. There was no way they can. That's the same thing. That's like trying to squeeze Infinity War and Endgame into one movie.
Yeah, that wasn't gonna happen.
Endgame is already huge enough.
Yeah, that wasn't gonna happen. So
that's bad decision.
And if you really think Disney was gonna say no to more money,
right? I mean, you're gonna make double. You're gonna make at least double. And here's the thing: people would have liked it. So you would have had people coming back for both of them.
Because they would have been like, "Oh, I got to find out what happens."
I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. It's frustrating. That's why I'm like, the more I thought about it, I'm like, look, it's clear that one, Kathleen Kennedy and company did not have any type of plan whatsoever, which is why I truly believe they got brought into our office and like, look, we bought this Lucasfilm. Y'all need to put some stuff out. So get to work.
Right.
Because we got to make our money back. These Marvel movies are making us money back. So we need y'all to make y'all money back.
It's just mad because I can't dismiss it because, like I said, there's a lot of the movie I liked.
Yeah.
But there was so much, like I said, and it wasn't like it was a whole lot, but there was big things like Zora and obviously Palpatine.
Yeah.
And the black chick, I can't remember.
Dana.
That was a big plot line.
That very big plot line that they just glossed over.
Finn, basically.
And they glossed over.
That's why very interesting, and you didn't even explore that at all.
That's why I was like, look, if that's the case, she should have been in Last Jedi. That whole Canto Bite bullshit, they should have just dropped that completely out.
You could have been learning about her and
the other orphans that
that would have been a great story. That would have made.
Now, here's the killer.
Jedi great.
Here's the killer. Apparently, that's the character that because they don't use the expanded universe, but they do use characters from it. They just name them something different. That's the character from one of them expanded universe books that was Lando's daughter.
Okay.
That's why at the end. That's why.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I was thinking.
That they had that little their little moment, and I'm like, okay, I remember reading that somewhere that Lando had a kid that he didn't know about being the pimp that he is. And that he didn't know about, and that was her. So I'm like, okay, I kind of get
gave him a little moment at the end, and it was just kind of weird because if you weren't, thinking about that, you'd be like, what is going on? Or
if you didn't read any of the expanded universe, you're like, okay, that's just this old 82-year-old man is hitting on this 21-year-old chick. Now we know,
girl, what is going on?
Now we know Billy D is smooth as hell, but come on, man.
Yeah, that's sick, man. That's sick right there.
Yeah, but just like, okay, look, dude,
great grandpas.
Yeah. That's why I was like, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it either because the problems that I had, I like reviewing movies and TV shows.
But you know what?
What?
My kids loved it.
I mean, and you know what? At the end of the day, when I think about it, it ain't made for me and you.
Well, I'm happy that, at least they loved it.
But it ain't made for me and you. And I remember that back when I watched Force Awakens with my niece and my nephew. They loved it. But I'm like, this is a rip of freaking New Hope. But they loved it.
I'm glad you brought that up because I would tell you like this. God dang it. Where's the... Oh, yeah. I'm gonna break down through all of them. They loved Force Awakens, right?
Okay.
Did not care for Rogue One at all. My son just hated that movie. I didn't care for it either. And then hated Last Jedi. None of them they didn't like it. Both of them didn't like it, but they loved Rise of Skywalker. So I thought that was really interesting.
Well, I mean, like I said, I can understand it because, like, once again, this ain't made for us, man. I just came to that conclusion, especially after this one. This wasn't made for me. Mandalorian was made for me, but this wasn't.
Yeah. Thank God for Mandalorian, huh?
Yeah, because this just wasn't made for me. But that's because Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni did that.
Yeah, here's the thing. I'm not going to necessarily say it wasn't made for me. Like I said, there's a lot of it I really liked. So a good amount of it was certainly made for me.
From a story standpoint, though, that's what I was saying. Like, it's too much. Like, I get mad. I got mad at X-Men Dark Phoenix, X-Men Apocalypse, X-Men Days of Future Past because of the same stuff that they pulled in this.
Yeah.
Some of the exact same stuff they pulled in this.
Plot convenience crap. I hate that stuff.
Yeah. Plot convenience, characters that show up that should be explored that you don't, not knowing, not paying attention to what you just wrote 2 years ago from the same damn writer.
Right. But you know what? At the end of the day, Jay, we've already said this. The biggest problem with this is that they had no damn plan.
None. I mean, you can hate
what
Marvel.
Little plan they had was not getting followed. Like what little outline JJ had.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Tossed.
Like, you can hate Marvel Studios all you want. You can hate superhero movies all you want. You will never find another that what they did with them 23 movies will never be done again.
Nope, you'll never see that again. I can confidently say you'll never see that again.
23 movies, and they all made sense by the time you watched Endgame. Right. By the time you watch, even the ones that were bad, Thor 2: The Dark World was atrocious.
It was so bad. I can't even watch it anymore. It's unwatchable.
But when you watch Endgame, it makes sense.
It makes sense, right? So it retroactively makes bad movies important.
Yeah. So we will never see that again. And if you can, like I said, you can hate Marvel all you want to, but you cannot deny that they stuck to their story. Even with the movies that weren't good, they stuck to the story, they stuck to the plan, and it paid off. This did not have any of that.
Yeah, I mean, even with the movies that didn't do as well, like the Ant-Man stuff, they didn't care. It was like, well, we don't care. Ant-Man isn't one of the more popular movies. We're still going to keep pushing. He get another damn movie.
Yeah, because we spent 125 million on it. We made 575 million. So you know what? We're still in the green.
The profit is good enough to make another movie off of.
Yeah, and the people who did watch it, they loved Michael Pena, T.I., and David Dastmalchian. So we bringing them back.
Exactly.
We'll just make it a comedy. What did they made it a comedy?
Made it a comedy.
And guess what? It worked.
It works. Paul Rudd is one of the best parts of Endgame. Like, his character
is awesome.
It's great.
His character is one of the best parts of Civil War. He's awesome. So yes.
Easily. Yeah, Civil War, of course.
Yeah. So yes. Marvel, people don't like Marvel because they think that they've made superhero fatigue. No, they didn't. But the thing was, they made 23 films. They made the equivalent of a comic book event and translated it into a movie with tie-in comics, aka the tie-in movies.
Yeah, but man, that stuff, like, I'm working on something that connects like 3 different worlds. I can't imagine working on something that connects like 20 different worlds.
Yeah, and making it where in the climax and at the very end, it all makes sense.
Yeah.
As well as set up your next story.
Yeah, and even with the because they didn't have a complete layout when they when they did Avengers. Like,
but they had enough to start.
Yeah. You have stuff like Thanos. He's different looking, and clearly he was a different person.
Clearly,
and different person and different kind of personality they were going to have for Thanos. You could tell, like, he was going to be more kind of hammy.
Yeah,
If you look at the that little clip at the end,
because I think that's
but
how Joss Whedon wanted him, and
right,
Feige was
but
like,
they figured
no,
it out.
yeah,
No,
like,
he
no,
would be more. He would be better as a serious person with what they point to make a serious point, a fair point, although it's awful.
yeah, it's an
The
awful
outcome he
point, but
wants.
it actually makes sense when you look at the
It
grand
makes
scheme of
sense, right? You
things.
can't just. He's not just a ha 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 rah rah rah. I'm evil
Yeah,
villain. Like.
yeah,
And
yeah,
they it could have been that, and I think it would have weakened the overall storyline. But so they would go through and fix stuff like that in subsequent movies.
yeah,
So even the stuff that they weren't sure about, 100% sure on, they fixed. Like Hawkeye, they didn't
yeah,
even know who the actor was when they shot that part. Was it Thor?
and Thor, yeah,
And Thor, like that was a pickup shot.
yeah, because that's why you never saw his face.
Right.
That's why all you saw
So
was his arm and the
so
bow.
that,
That's all you saw.
right. So there you go. Like they had no idea, but they fixed it. They retroactively went back and interjected things. So
And I
they
think that's why I was so happy when they announced that Feige was gonna like oversee the next big thing from them. I'm like, good,
yeah,
because
because he clearly knows how to pull a vision together,
yeah,
like a vision, expansive vision.
yeah,
He's
and
obviously the right dude for that.
hopefully, if they don't have enough for a trilogy, just don't do a damn trilogy.
No, you don't have to. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't think
I'm
they will. I don't think
I'm
they're
fine with
planning to
one,
do a new. But no, here's the thing: they're going to do 3 movies,
but
but
they're not gonna be
they didn't say it was going to be a trilogy.
nuh because I did hear a rumor about one of them, and it's one from a game we both like, Knights.
Yeah, Knights. Yeah, I heard.
Like the first one they're gonna do is Knights.
They were thinking about setting in the what is it? 400 years ago, 400 years
Yeah,
before the
before
prequels.
before the prequels and before, and there's another one where they're gonna set it during like the time of actual Bane, Darth Bane, and back when
Right.
the Jedi and the Sith were one.
Yeah, do that. Stay away
Yeah.
from. Well, I mean, they have to stay away from the Skywalker story, but
Well, first of
that's
all,
a
it's a big freaking universe. I don't give a damn about the Skywalkers if we're gonna be honest at
at
this
this
point.
point, yeah,
I
it's
don't
over.
care
You
anymore.
ruined the closing to it.
Yeah.
So
So
let's
show me
move
some new
on.
stuff. Just show me some new stuff. Show me some new
Expanding
stuff.
Universe has some great stuff. Pick from that and let's go.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they had some great villains. They had some great heroes. Like, yeah, just I know they said that the expanded universe, we're not using that. That's not canon. Well, since it's not canon, make it canon because
Right. I mean,
half these
and
people
who
didn't read
decided
that
that?
stuff. Yeah,
Kathleen Kennedy. She decided that on her own.
yeah. Well, half these people hadn't read that stuff. Those books are still in. I went to Barnes and Noble yesterday. Those books are still in the daggone bookstore.
Yeah, I have a bunch of them. I have a
Yeah,
bunch of
so
Expanded Universe
you
stuff.
can still buy those books. She just
And you can
said it
still
wasn't
buy them.
canon.
They're cheap. They're very cheap.
Yeah,
And
she said it wasn't canon. They
but
still being bought.
instead of doing Solo, they should have done Shadows of the Empire or something, man. Like,
Yeah, they should have did or give people what we've been asking for, a Darth Maul movie.
right, like instead of just popping them up at the end of Solo. What the fuck?
I'm
Like
like, you know what? You know what? That wasn't even funny. When they did that, I was sitting in the theater. I'm like, you know what? This movie ain't bad, ain't as bad as people are making it out to be. But for that, I had to flip the bird at you.
And then he poses for the hologram camera.
Look,
Like,
why
what is
would
he
you do
doing?
that?
Why is he like turning on his lightsaber on the camera?
Bro, can't no dude. Who you finna fight? Who you finna
Well,
fight? You on a telephone call. You FaceTime and Khaleesi. You are
that was
FaceTime
just
and
like,
Khaleesi.
hello, fans. My name is Darth Maul. In case you weren't sure, like, what is that?
I'm like, look, I know you in the presence of the mother of dragons, but still. Like, come on.
You wanted to show her your lightsaber. I get it.
Yeah,
A lot of people do.
yeah, we understand. We understand the concept. You know? So yeah.
Man.
But like I said, overall, I know I'm making it sound like I hated it. I didn't hate it. I just hated the fact that they did what they did and then tried to play it off. I hate when you do that. That's why I have so much respect for Oscar Isaac and John Boyega, because they just like, look, man, we ain't working for them no more. That joke was stupid.
Yeah, they messed them up, man.
Yeah,
And that's the thing. Like I said, the worst thing is that we're frustrated because the potential was there. It was always there.
Yeah.
And they totally botched it.
I mean, they actually made me like, because you know how I felt about Kylo Ren in the first two movies.
Yeah,
They actually made me like.
But,
they actually made me like him in this.
But for me, he was the glue. He was the best part for me in the movies because he had some backstory.
He's about the only damn one that got one.
He's the only character with some real backstory, and he showed emotion, and that's why I always liked him. And he's a good actor. I think.
Adam Driver's the man.
Right. So that's why against what you were saying, and I understood your opinion, but for me, he was the best part because he actually had some layers.
Yeah, like my main issue was the fact that they tried to present him as this scary killer, and I'm like, no, he's not.
No, yeah, that's when they lost
problem.
Last Jedi. Yeah, they try to make him the main villain. I'm like, no, he's not.
He's not. And if anything,
Darth Vader wasn't that dude. He had to have the Emperor.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, dude, if you were gonna show this Ben Solo, you should have started in Last Jedi, which they did not.
Darth Vader was a he was a weapon. He wasn't the planner.
He was the Hulk.
Right.
He was his Hulk. He pointed him at somebody and he told him to go get him.
Exactly. So how you gonna make little Kylo? What did they call? What was his Supreme Chancellor Kylo Ren? No. No.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, in this movie they actually made. Okay, I liked him in this.
What about Hux? Remember what happened with Hux? Are you kidding me?
First of all, I saw that coming 20 miles away. When they first said we have a spy in the First Order, I'm like, it's him. It's him. It was so obvious.
with the way he's been screaming all these movies. Like the way he's been acting crazy, angry, it doesn't make sense for it to be him. We knew it was him.
Yeah.
But it's just like, this dude is so psycho about the Resistance. He would never be, the spy, but he clearly was the spy.
I'm doing it because I just don't want to see Kylo win. Are you serious?
So you're gonna ruin your chances of winning, basically, by helping the good guys? Like what? Jesus, no, this does not work.
Yeah, like
you could have had anybody else.
You know what? This would have been a perfect time to bring back Benicio del Toro or have Kerry Russell's character.
You could have Benicio or somebody come in and be like, "I'm the spy."
Yeah,
that would work way better than turning Hux to a spy.
And then that would have been your justification for Canto Bite.
Right.
But I didn't even bring Benicio back.
You should have wrote this.
or at the very least, have Kerry Russell be the spy, and that's how Poe meets Poe. Like,
and that's how she has that
that thing on her face.
Yeah,
the whole damn movie. That
would have been, give her more screen time and give her more of a purpose.
Hell, let Rose Tico be the damn spy. I don't need anybody.
Rose, here, take this MacGuffin, and I'm gonna see you later in the movie. Bye.
Yeah, I'm like, let Rose Tico be the spy. That way, at least she's in the damn movie.
More to do, poor girl.
Jeez,
they Jar Jarred her.
They Jar Jar, and
and she wasn't nowhere near as bad as Jar Jar.
No, nowhere near. So yeah, people, I know this ran a little long, but I
would say if you're a fan of Star Wars, you should probably go see it.
You should, but
if you hate it, especially if you hated Last Jedi, this will make you feel a little bit better.
A little, marginally, but
some ways it'll make you feel a lot better.
Yeah,
but for overall, it'll make you just feel a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, once again, if you're a casual fan, especially if you got Disney Plus, just wait till March.
Yeah, wait for Disney Plus or Rental or something.
Yeah, but if you are hardcore, do not pay full price for this. Do not go see this in D-Box. Do not go spend extra money. Just go matinee.
I had matinee and extra credits.
Yeah, so just don't.
Awesome.
I'm not gonna tell people to go. Yes, you should see this in 3D IMAX. Don't do that.
Nah,
You ain't finna come crucify me for you spending all that money.
I didn't even know it existed in 3D IMAX. That's a pass. That's a hard pass.
Yeah, there's only been a couple movies I've seen in 3D IMAX that was Inception, worth it. Uh, Doctor Strange, completely worth it, and Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, worth it.
Avatar.
I did not see Avatar in the theaters.
I saw it 3 times in theaters in IMAX 3D, and it was gorgeous,
Yeah,
gorgeous.
I wish I would have seen that one in IMAX 3D, but
It's easily the best because I mean
yeah.
they filmed it.
Well, they made it for it. Hell, they made cameras for it. So
right, they made cameras for that movie, so it was easily it's easily the best instead of that retroactive stuff they do with a lot of these movies.
Or
trying to make them 3D.
which one with the James Cameron let which one Resident Evil movies that James Cameron let them borrow his cameras?
I can't. Afterlife or something.
Yeah, boy, he never let them do that joke again. They never was able to do that again.
That was embarrassing.
That was hilarious.
It was hilarious, but it was embarrassing on his part. What are you doing?
Best movie to see at a black theater was the Resident Evil movies. Boy, the chicanery that went on in that theater.
And oh my gosh,
it was
hilarious.
It was a cultural event. Just going and seeing that in a black theater because there was DVD commentary the entire time.
The entire movie. Somebody just hit record and sell that mess. That would have been comedy gold.
Comedy gold, dude. I love that mess. So yeah, but I mean, yeah, like and I still stick to my original rating of if you are a fan, if you're a casual fan, just rent it or stream it. If you are a mega fan, just go matinee and leave it at that. But do understand if you have issues like we have with like plot threads and characters that just come in that are actually interesting, but they only got 4 minutes of screen time.
Right.
You might get just understand there's a lot of that in this. Now, the stuff that they get right, they do well. Like I said, once again, Daisy Ridley and John Boyega are magic on the screen. Daisy Ridley and
that's
Kylo
the best
Ren.
thing about this movie is that they're all the three of them are together for a long time in the movie.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah.
And Adam Driver and Daisy Ridley have good scenes together.
All of them, they have good banter. They argue, which we haven't seen, and I felt worked really well.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Yeah, so
it was the best part of the movie. And of course, I mean, we kind of take it for granted, but the action scenes were great. The lightsaber battle was great.
Look, the 3 lightsaber battles they had were the 3 main ones they had were actually awesome.
And he's like I would. For me, I was like, man, I'm tired of seeing Rey and Kylo Ren fight. She just win every damn time, and she does.
Yeah,
and she still wins still. And it's just like he's not even a threat to her. Like I don't understand. That's what weakens this whole thing.
He wasn't a true Sith. He was damn near an Inquisitor.
Right.
So and then they had to give her Super Saiyan God powers.
Right. She was a Palpatine, again, it makes sense for her to be that powerful in the Force, being a Palpatine.
Considering
they threw it together at the end. That's the problem. It doesn't work. Yeah. If they did that in the second movie and explained that she was a Palpatine, all that backstory they were throwing at you, like that would be such a better setup, a better movie. That's why I'm just frustrated because you had 2 really good movies here that you squeezed into one mess.
Yep. And I know Feige ain't gonna let this happen, but Lucasfilm don't listen to fan fiction people no more.
No.
If you go to
Reddit for ideas.
Yeah, if you don't if that wasn't in your original vision of story, don't put it in there. These people gonna watch the movie anyway. They're gonna go watch it 2 and 3 times any damn way.
Right.
They'll be complaining the whole time, but they'll still be in that damn theater. So don't do that again. Just don't do it again.
They split this up. They could have made $3 billion easy.
And they wouldn't even have to do what freaking Endgame did and put it back in theater. They wouldn't even have to do that.
No,
because
they
the Star Wars fan base
for each one of these, if they they would have spread them out and made it better.
The Star Wars fan base is way bigger than the Marvel fan base.
Yeah,
way bigger. I think the only one that's bigger than Star Wars is Star Trek. That's the only one I think is bigger than Star Wars.
But the thing is, Marvel is the new Star Wars.
Yeah, because they
They didn't mess up.
yeah, they didn't mess up. Like everything wasn't hunky dory, but they made everything work.
No.
So I mean, it is what it is at this point in the game. So yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed our little spoiler field and
Therapy
rant
session.
field therapy session. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna call it. You know what I'm gonna call this? The fresh take therapy session. So
Rise of Skywalker's therapy session. That's what you do.
yeah, it's gonna be a therapy. We're gonna call it a movie therapy session. Movie therapy. Yeah, movie therapy. Yeah. So thank you for listening to our new segment, movie therapy. So we do appreciate that. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, all the other good stuff. Let us know your thoughts on the Star Wars series. Do you want to see what do you want to see them go next? Leave that in the comment section. And did you like Mandalorian? Are you looking forward to Obi-Wan? Do you think they need to put stuff on Disney Plus to like help some of these backstories out so when they actually go to the theater it all makes sense? Let us know. And we will see you guys on our next therapy session because I'm pretty sure there's going to be another one pretty soon when the next DC movie comes out. Peace, everybody.
Peace.